A glimpse into the future. Young talents Mirra Andreeva and Alexandra Eala set to clash against one another at Macau Tennis Masters. The exhibition is the perfect time for players to get up to speed on the court before the 2026 tennis season truly gets underway in just over a week. Players will want to get their match fitness and sharpness up as they look to go all guns blazing down under where all the big tennis tournaments will be held at the start of 2026. This, most notably, includes the Australian Open, taking place from January 18th to February 1st. It is a golden opportunity to gain ranking points and climb up the order with a haul of rewards on the line in Melbourne. Andreeva and Eala are not the only players competing in China. Team captains Li Na and Conchita Martinez will lead two star-studded teams into battle. Two-time Grand Slam champion Na will have the talented Eala in her ranks along with the Hugo Humbert and fellow Chinese tennis player Shang Junqing. Conchita will have world number 14 Alejandro Davidovich Fokina and Wu Yibing along with Andreeva as the competition is set to shortly start. Eala v Andreeva in hugely anticipated matchup. The highlight of the event has to come on the second day when the two young superstars step onto the court as they prepare to lock horns before again facing off in a mixed doubles match later that day. They have played against each other once before back in the 2022 Girls' U.S. Open. Eala came out on top 6-4, 6-0 in a convincing display in their quarterfinal clash en route to winning the title, defeating Victoria Mboko in the semifinals. Andreeva will be hungry for revenge and ready to bring some festive cheer in what has been a dampening end to the 2-25 campaign. She raced out of the blocks, taking home a brace of WTA 1000 titles in the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships and the Indian Wells Open. This was on the top of a brace of quarterfinals at Roland Garros and Wimbledon. Another two last-8 appearances in the Madrid Open and Italian Open saw her rise to a career-high world number 5 halfway through July. However, her form would derail in the second half of the season. She failed to find a consistent string of form, with her regularly faltering in the early rounds of events. Once she was an almost certain shoo-in for a debut campaign in the WTA Finals, but she was pipped at the post by Elena Rybakina and Jasmine Paolini by the slimmest of margins. While the 18-year-old will look to get over this bitter disappointment, Eala is looking to continue her positive form. She has put Philippines tennis on the map, regularly creating history. The first sign of her talent came in the Miami Open. She had a stunning run all the way to the semifinal of the WTA 1000 event, getting the better of former Grand Slam champions Yelena Ostapenko, Madison Keys, and Iga Swiatek before narrowly losing out to Jessica Pegula in the semifinals. She was tantalizingly close in clinching her first WTA title in the Eastbourne, playing out a thriller against fellow touted talent Maya Joint in the final. She squandered 4 match points before Joint eventually got over the line in a dramatic third-set tiebreak. The inevitable success would come in the WTA 125 event in Guadalajara, where she became the first tennis player from the Philippines to win a WTA title. The match between them in Macau could go either way, while Andreeva will go into it as the favorite with a lot more pedigree under her belt. Eala has proved her credentials of being a giant killer. Hopefully this will be the latest installment of what will be a blistering rivalry in the future. The future does not always arrive with a roar. Sometimes it steps onto the court quietly, racket in hand, eyes steady, carrying the weight of possibility rather than certainty. At the Macau Tennis Masters, that future is set to take shape in the form of two young talents, Mirra Andreeva and Alexandra Eala, poised to clash in a match that feels less like a routine fixture and more like a preview of what women's tennis is becoming. This is not merely a contest of points and games. It is a meeting of journeys, cultures, styles, and dreams. In the glow of Macau's lights, where tradition and modernity blend seamlessly, Andreeva and Eala stand as symbols of a new generation that refuses to wait its turn. The rise of Mirra Andreeva, precision beyond her years. Mirra Andreeva's ascent has been swift, but never accidental. From the first time she stepped onto the professional stage, there was a sense that she belonged there, not because of hype, but because of composure. Her game speaks in clear, confident sentences, clean ground strokes, intelligent shot selection, and an uncanny ability to absorb pressure without visible strain. What sets Andreeva apart is not raw power alone, though she has plenty of it. It is her understanding of the game. She constructs points like a chess player, always thinking 2 or 3 moves ahead. Opponents often find themselves pulled wide, pushed back, and finally undone by a shot that seemed inevitable long before it was struck. At Macau, Andreeva represents the promise of consistency in an era often dominated by extremes. She is a reminder that discipline, patience, and tactical clarity still matter. Watching her play feels like watching the future settle comfortably into the present. Alexandra Eala, heart, heritage, and fearless ambition. Across the net stands Alexandra Eala, carrying with her not only personal ambition but the hopes of a nation. For the Philippines, Eala is more than a rising tennis player. She is a trailblazer. Every match she plays extends the boundaries of what young athletes from her country can dream of achieving. Eala's game is defined by courage. She plays with intent, unafraid to take risks, unafraid to challenge opponents who may be ranked higher or more experienced. Her left-handed strokes add an extra layer of unpredictability, while her movement reflects hours of dedication and belief in her own path. There's a fire in Eala's play that cannot be coached. It comes from knowing she is creating something new, not just for herself, but for those watching at home, seeing possibilities where none seemed to exist before. At the Macau Tennis Masters, she steps onto the court not as an underdog, but as a contender ready to test her limits. A clash of styles, a conversation of futures. When Andreeva and Eala meet, the match becomes a conversation. Andreeva speaks in measured tones, guiding rallies with calm authority. Eala responds with bold statements, injecting pace, angles, and emotion into every exchange. Their clash is not about who is better at this moment in time. It is about contrast, structure versus spontaneity, calculation versus instinct. Each point becomes a small story, unfolding differently depending on who takes control first. In Macau, the court becomes a canvas. Andreeva paints with precision, drawing lines that gradually corner her opponent. Eala splashes color across the surface, turning defense into offense, refusing to let the rhythm settle. The audience watches not just a match, but a dialogue between two philosophies of tennis. Macau, the perfect stage.